Hi, my name is Jonas Braasch, and in this clip I would like to demonstrate some of the mouthpieces I built for my soprano saxophone. The first mouthpiece I started to experiment with was a trumpet mouthpiece. The idea was, why would I only have one characteristic sound on my instrument if I can have many? So the trumpet mouthpiece had a problem, and that was it was attached to the bore of a saxophone, which is much wider than that of a trumpet. So I eventually came to using a cornet mouthpiece. A cornet is a Renaissance wind instrument of the brass family, and it has a much narrower rim and shallower cup, which makes it easier for me to produce high overtones. I'm going to start with a technique that's called the whisper tone, and that produces on a trumpet or other brass instrument a flute-like tone. It's very low, and then I go into the normal register. Another interesting aspect of using a brass mouthpiece is that the saxophone and the trumpet, one of them is an inward striking mechanism and the other one is an outward striking mechanism, meaning that the reed of the saxophone resonates slightly below the resonator frequency, and in the trumpet it oscillates slightly above the resonator frequency. So if I play my trumpet mouthpiece or my cornet mouthpiece on a saxophone, it will be a semitone higher than a saxophone. So I have an instrument in B, not in B flat anymore, but it's in tune in itself. The next mouthpiece I experimented with was that of a bassoon. Actually, there's an instrument very similar to that of a soprano saxophone, and that is called the sarrusophone. The sarrusophone was basically a saxophone with a double reed. The sarrusophone is a family of instruments from a soprano sarrusophone to a contrabass sarrusophone, like there are many different instruments within the saxophone family. The only difference between a sarrusophone really and the saxophone is the reed attachment, but also that the sarrusophone for the same class of instrument has a much narrower bore to accommodate the special needs of the double reed instrument. Therefore, I attached a bassoon mouthpiece to the soprano saxophone, and I get the quality of a dark instrument. Another instrument variation I'm working on is what I call the pocket didgeridoo. The pocket didgeridoo is a PVC pipe extension to my soprano saxophone. The interesting thing about the pocket didgeridoo is that it extends the pipe so long that I get a fundamental frequency of about 60 Hz. A fundamental difference between the didgeridoo and a western wind instrument is that it doesn't have a cup like a trumpet, so the opening is very wide and you can hear the voice through the instrument, which is very difficult to achieve for western wind instruments. If I play the keys on my saxophone, it changes the timbre but no longer changes the fundamental pitch of my instrument. The last instrument variation I want to show is my Bawu adapter to the soprano saxophone. The Bawu is a Chinese wind instrument that is played with a free reed and a wind instrument resonator type with keyholes. Well, thank you very much for listening to this clip. I'm going to upload a few more clips about my instrument variations in the next few weeks.